Hey, I'm Audrey. Still thinking about freedom over here and what that means, a week after Independence Day. Probably it's because I don't have much of it these days with a newborn and a toddler pining for my attention. And last week in my newsletter, I shared, that freedom is usually found on the other side of overcoming a struggle. And I kind of look back at the definitions, and in my 20s, freedom looked very different than it does today. Back then, I wanted to be free from heartache, from accepting the crumbs a guy gave to me. I wanted to feel what it truly felt like to be unconditionally loved, to feel special. And back then, I wanted to be free from these petty emotions, the self-criticism and the jealousy. It just constantly weighed me down with shame and loneliness. And back then, I wanted to know what it truly felt like to feel whole and deserving. I also wanted to be free from these impulses that took over me. Whenever life got sticky or I was suffering or felt uncomfortable feelings, my face could be found in a bag of chips or a bottle of wine. And 2 years ago, I redefined freedom as being able to have the freedom and flexibility of time and place. Well, 2 babies and a pandemic later, that plan was kind of escalated and I got what I wanted. But now, freedom looks a little bit more simple, perhaps more philosophical. I want the freedom of time to create and make an impact. I want to feel that I served well and made a lasting difference in people's lives. Okay, maybe the definition isn't so simple. But when I look back at these decades and kind of peel back each layer of the desired outcomes, all of the definitions of freedom share the same universal theme of wanting to know that I mattered. I mattered to someone or to myself or to others. And freedom is going to look different at various stages of your life, but it usually shares a universal truth of shedding the external and the internal layers that hold you hostage from becoming your whole self. Share with me what freedom looks like for you these days and what's holding you back. I'd really like to know. Also, to support you further, my monthly membership Soul School starts next month. And I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. It's been a year in process. It is a virtual community to deeply connect to yourself and to others each month through movement and mindfulness and soul-filling topics so that you can experience more ease, more meaning, and more joy. I hope you can join me. I'll see you on the inside. And really share with me, what does freedom look like for you these days? And I'd love to support you in shedding those layers that hold you hostage from receiving it. Remember, you are enough and you matter. I'll see you soon.